Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. I think we are live here on Facebook, but I'm also recording this. So I've got two cameras going because it is, I'm just not 100% sure that things are working quite the way they should be. But you know what? It is what it is, and we're trying our best to make this work. I want to make a slight adjustment here because I need this to be just a little bit higher. So just bear with me while I adjust this. That didn't work so well, did it? Good. It's a bit rocky, rocky on all fronts. It's just, I've got a wonderful laptop stand actually, which I just love. That enables me to adjust the height fairly easily. I just about messed it up. There we go. That's a bit better. Right, good. Okay, so here we are. And I'm not sure that anybody is live yet, but it'd be quite nice if you were live with me. But there you go. It is just after 8:30 on Saturday morning. So Saturdays are traditionally my lion days. So this is like, whoa, feeling like a very, very early start. And it is what it is. I mean, that's how it goes. I'm going to make one more adjustment on this because I want to, since you're not here and you might come and join me in a bit, maybe make it a little bit higher. There we go. How's that? Yep, that looks all good, I think. Okay, one more this way. Yep, I can get one more this way. Boom. I love this stand. It was like £23, and it just enables me to just lift things really quickly. It's got adjustments in 2 angles, and so it when it's folded up, it fits into that. But I don't actually fold it up at all. Look at that papers that need sorting out. I don't fold it up at all because it fits beautifully. Yeah, so it fits beautifully on my desk, and it doesn't take up space because it's all hollow underneath. So it's an absolute win. I'm pretty pleased with that. Right, so here we are today on it's day 11 of the Flow into 2021 with Love and Laughter, and it's Saturday morning, and it's a beautiful blue sunny day. And I actually haven't taken my morning photos outside, which I try to do. If you see me on Instagram, you'll know that I tend to do a short video most mornings on Instagram, but I also have my corner in time, and I like to take pictures of my garden and a corner out on one of my walks where I just have noted all the way through since March. I think we've been doing this, all the changes that happen in the seasons, and that's really about being in flow with nature and in flow with life and where we are. And somebody's joined us, I think. Would that be true to say somebody's joined us? If you have, do say hello. I don't know how on YouTube. Let me know you are here. I shouldn't be clacking on this keyboard, it's so noisy. So lovely to have somebody here. If you are, that's fantastic. I'm super excited. This is not quite the same as doing it in the Facebook group, but it's as good as I can get for the moment. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. We can chat in the group with all your questions. And then I'll upload the videos, or the video, whichever one comes out best, to there. So let's just right, let's just see if I can set this up. So I'm just trying to get all sorted. It's all very good. Well, somebody's with me, which is fab. Create this post here. Is this post for your questions from today's live? And I'll post the video replay here. There you go. That's it. Good. So sort of sorted. Right. There are a couple of things that I wanted to look at. First of all, thank you so much for all your engagement in the group and all the fun and the things you're sharing. It's been amazing. It really has been super duper to see who's doing what and which things have resonated, which things have gone, which things you've enjoyed, which things you've gone, oh, I don't feel like doing that, which things you've been doing for years. So some of you have been dancing for ages, which is fantastic, and do it regularly because it's such a good thing. That was Friday, yeah. So yesterday was dancing, and I was, while I was making dinner last night in the kitchen, I had I've got a, what do you call it, Alexa. So I said to Alexa, right, play The Killers first, and I was sort of bopping around to a number of Brendan Flowers songs, which was great. And then I went, no, I need some real bopping music. So put on Mika. Now, I haven't played Mika for ages. I love a little guilty thing. I love Mika. He's just such a vibrant sound. So I had Mika playing in the kitchen, and it was quite festive and quite good. I think I need the sound up a bit more. Sound looks a bit soft. Is that right? Yeah, it looks like the sound needs to be up. I don't know how I do that. Short of maybe putting headphones on. All these things are trying to get sorted. Anyway, it's a trial. It's how we get things together. I can always edit this out. Maybe, or maybe not. 7 minutes in. Oh my goodness me. Right. Does that make on the sound? Oh, the sound's going on. I don't know what sounds are going on there. Something else playing in the background. That's a bit rubbish. Right. I think those sounds are working. I don't know what is playing in the background. Let me see if I can find that. This sounds like there's a video playing in the background somewhere. Don't know. I don't know. Computers, aren't they funny? How do we live without them? How do we do all these things normally? So it looks like, yeah, everything else should be fine. I can't see what might have been playing in the background, but anyway, it says I'm live streaming, so I'm live streaming. There we go. The sound is a bit better with the headphones, it looks like. So there we go. Right, so we're sort of there. Okay, so yeah, so last night I was playing Mika in the kitchen while I was dancing, and it was just, I was bopping around while I was making a Thai curry, and it was all a lot of fun. And then Alicia came into the kitchen and she went, "Is that Mika?" And I went, "Yeah, do you know Mika?" "Yeah, he speaks French." And it was like, oh my goodness, because so few people that I talk to know Mika, or even have heard of him and his music. And it was like, wow. So we both were having a bit of a swing around in the kitchen, and then when we had dinner we kept it playing, and it was lovely. And Lollipop is one of his great songs, and while we were eating, Lollipop came on, so Alicia jumped up, and she's a gymnast back in Switzerland, and she started going through the motions of her routine, and it was lovely to see. So the music just inspires you. So that brings me on to muscle memory. That's what we were talking about at the table. We were saying, oh yeah, that's muscle memory. When a sound comes on, your body just knows what to do. And I mean, I've seen that in a variety of, just checking that no one's commenting in the Facebook group at the minute. Bom, bom, bom. Nope, no one's there. Okay, somebody is here live. I'm not sure who, but anyway, there you go. Lovely to have you here. So yes, we were talking about muscle memory. Let me get comfortable on my ball because I'm bouncing around, which is not great for video. Bouncing on a video is not a good look. Right. So back to, this is live, being distracted versus being focused and doing a video. Right.
back to muscle memory and what does this mean? So when a sound or when music comes on or something happens that you've heard before, your body automatically knows what to do, particularly if you've done something repetitively. So if you keep doing things, your body gets into a routine and it knows what it's meant to be doing. And so that's pretty fantastic. And we see this when we drive the same route every day. We don't notice things around. We just do the route. We just go where we need to go. We just, it just happens the way it needs to happen. And I put that over there. So that's better. Better for me because then I can see things a bit better. There we go. We just automatically, we're like on autopilot. We do what we need to do. And so that's kind of what is happening in so many aspects of our life. So our muscles do it, which is hence the muscle memory. And that's where our body physically does things. It physically takes on what it needs to do. You put your running shoes on and your body knows what that running motion feels like, and it knows what it's going to get into. If I put my big coat on or put my dog walking clothes on, the dog knows that we're going for a walk. So the dog's like learned what we're doing, and our bodies learn things too. So that's our bodies, physical bodies. But it also happens in our energetic body. Now, those that have done the energetic, one of the sessions I did on the energetic bodies, you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. But we have obviously our energy centers. I say obviously. There we have the energy centers, the chakras, but we also have the energy bodies around us, and they extend out. I think we said about 3 feet. So that's our sort of our body of energy and how it's all moving and flowing. But when there's things that happen energetically, our bodies know that too. So we kind of know in so many dimensions what things are, which is why, and I go back to habits, why it's important to establish routines that work, because then that creates a habit and it sort of embeds the muscle memory. It embeds the memory into the cells, whether it's an energy cell or a physical cell. So far, so good. I hope so. I hope that's doing all right. So what we're looking at with emotions, these are things that are always happening and things that are that happen as an automatic response. Okay, so emotion, energy in motion, but it's an energetic body. It's something that happens first. So when there's a sound, like if something drops and there's a big bang, you have an immediate reaction. It's not a conscious thought. It is an immediate reaction. It is an immediate response, but it is an emotion that comes up. So that reaction is actually an emotional reaction. It's an emotion of, what is that? It's a jolt. It's a fright. It's a fear reaction of, whoa, what is this? Do I need to stop and look about planning or doing something differently? Is it, do I need to be worried about it? What is it? And that's what happens all the time. So it's not always negative emotions. Sometimes it's happy emotions. So if you go to a comedy show, for instance, or you go there expecting to be happy, but it doesn't mean that you're laughing off your chair all the time. You're already in a happy frame of mind. You've already tuned your body into let's be happy, and then when a joke is delivered, it's like, yes, it hits the emotional chord of yes. Sometimes you have to think about it, and then it's like that slower. It's not that immediately gut wrenching. Oh, that's so funny. That's just like, can't help myself. It's just immensely funny. Right, I need to have a sip of water early in the morning. My hot water still. So, talking about routines and habits, I drink a beer mug of hot water first thing in the morning. So I get up. Okay, let's talk about morning routines, because I have a 4-video series coming out shortly on this. But just briefly, these are things that you embed in your life and you do it without thinking. They become subconscious, but at the same time, when you don't do them, you notice, and when you And that's a conscious decision to not do them. So I wake up in the morning, I lie in bed, I sort of check in, I do my gratitude, I have a big stretch, I go, yeah. How's the body feeling? Yeah, it all feels good. How's the mind feeling? What's going on in the mind? And you go, oh yeah, okay, that's all good. And then I go, this is what I'm going to be doing today, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I start priming myself to go and do that. I jump out of bed, I do my sort of water on the face, wash my face, clean my teeth, scrape my tongue, and there's a whole session on that, but we don't go into that now. But it is what it is. Something's in my jumper making me itch on my arm, so sorry about that. I put this big thick jumper on this morning because it was snowing last night, and it's pretty damn cold this morning. Anyway, so I get up and I do all those kind of things. I then ordinarily do meditation and yoga, except for a couple of times when I'm running late, like today. And it really does affect my energy. So I can feel my energy dips up and down. So after I've done my yoga meditation, I go downstairs and I have this little energy drink, which is pretty cool. I have some now. And I have my thing of hot water, and I take my iron tablets and all those kind of things that you do. So that's what I do in my morning routine. So I've created a routine, and it makes me feel good. When I don't stick to my routine, my body knows that something's not quite right. So I think I mentioned this in the group. I did a session I did walk and talk on Tuesday, maybe earlier this week. And the person I was, we went out, we were chatting, we were having a great walk. And then after a while, she stopped and said, something's different. What's wrong? What's wrong with your energy today? And I'm like, no, my energy's fine. I was really enjoying being out in the cold air, and it was just lovely. And then when I came home, I realized I hadn't had my juice. This juice. I'm pulling the headphones out. And I hadn't done my yoga meditation. So my energies were all over the place. And I came back and I had my juice, actually had some breakfast as well. I then did my meditation, did my yoga, and my day got back on track. So your bodies need to do these things. And our bodies and our energies. So we were talking in the group, and if I go back to multitasking here, I've got so many things up and running and doing. It's like, but stressy. Not really stressy. Talk about being in the flow. I'm flowing with finding ways around this. So we did the dancing. The dancing was magical. So many people had such lovely things to say. Yeah, observe what you give energy to. So this was observing your thoughts and reactions and responses. And I'll talk about what that wasn't very good English. I'll talk about today's session as well. So Angela said, I had to read this several times to get my head around the information, try and put it into practice. A lot to take in. I learned something though, because I was always under the impression that thought preceded emotion. No, and this is really, really, really interesting, is that things happen, and the first response is the emotion. What is it? What do we need to do? And then the brain kicks in and goes, and this is a really important part, okay? So something happens, whether it's words that are said or a bang that happens or a joke that lands or whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, something happens and there's an immediate reaction, emotion to it. Whoa, what is that? And then the brain goes, yeah, what is that? What is that? What is that? Because the brain's whole function is to protect us. That's what the brain does. It protects us. It's what it is designed to do. Its whole thing is to make our lives easier and smoother and protect us. Sometimes it's so good at its job that it really restricts us, but we'll come to that. So it's done its whoa, what is that? Do I know what it is? Oh yeah, I know what that is, and I've seen that before. Right, what do I do with that? Oh yeah, well, last time we did that, yes, we did this. So it locks that emotion away in your body and it goes, right, let's go and do that. Now, when it sees something new, it goes, whoo, what is that? What is it? What is it? And it locks the emotion away in the body and then says, right, now we start the thought processes of what do we need to do next? How do we go forward? How do we move ahead with this? How do we now take on action to solve this problem or deal with this situation. So the brain works out what it needs to do the first time. The second time, the brain goes, oh yeah, seen that. Oh yeah, that's what I did. And it locks it away and it goes through the motions that it's now established. The third time it goes, yep, seen it, know what to do. By the time we get into the 4th, 5th, 25th, 400th time, it's automatic. It's in our subconscious. The brain sees something and it already knows what the response is, and it locks away the emotion and we get on to whatever the response is. Now, that's where some of the problems come in, because the responses that we did when we first had those emotions are often when we're children. And those responses were absolutely relevant and perfect for when we're children, but absolutely, usually completely irrelevant for us as adults. So if there's people, angry noises, angry sounds to each other, I'm going to say shouting at each other, but if there's family members that are having a bit of a as a small child, it can be very distressing, and you learn ways to cope, particularly when there's substances involved. I work with a lot of people who have come out of I'm going to say abusive childhoods, not emotionally abusive for them, but often it's the spouse that gets the bulk of the abuse, male or female, and the children just watch what's going on, but it's having a serious impact, and they are learning when there's that fear to just sit really quiet and still and to not move, or to pretend you're sleeping, or if you can, get out the house and go out for a couple of hours or whatever. So there's a learned response of what to do. Now, when you become an adult, or it doesn't even matter when you're an adult, as you get older, if that's become an embedded response, it's not always relevant. As you become a teenager, you possibly could actually talk about these things instead of locking it away. And maybe the situation's changed, and the parent that you're living with now has a new partner, and maybe the situation's not quite the same. But when that emotion is triggered, the response will be the same, okay? Because it's automatic, and the emotion might just be fear of a situation, and it may be completely something that you don't have to be fearful of, but it just is something that you are fearful of. So the response then to hide away or to leave the house and vanish is completely inappropriate. It would have been better to sit down and have a conversation and talk it through, and discuss what is going on and what you're feeling and what that's making you feel like and why you don't like it, etc. Making sense? I hope so. I still can't see who's joined me live, but it might be somebody just off my YouTube channel rather than somebody from the group. That's one of the dangers of doing it on YouTube live. But it's lovely to have you here, whoever you are. And you're probably going, what the heck is she talking about? Anyway, this is it's a live session for the Flow into 2021 group that we've got running, 40 days. It's a 40-day challenge, Flow into 2021 with love and laughter. So that's what we're doing, just having lots of exploring things about us, which is why we do all different things every day. Right, so that's what happens with the emotions. An emotion triggers an event, whether it's words that arrived. Okay, we'll come back to the words in a bit. So an emotion is triggered, an event is triggered, an event triggers an emotion. Pom, emotion happens. Brain goes, what is that emotion? Oh yes, this is the response. Whether the response is laughter, whether the response is hug. We do this, in the old days when we used to hug people, we would go into a room and the automatic response was to see somebody go up and give them a hug. And if you're, get this right, if you're French, it's two cheek kisses, and if you're Swiss, it's 3 cheek kisses, or whichever way around it is. But it's that kind of triggered response, expectation. You don't even think about it. You go up and you hug the person and you do kiss as well. In the old days, when we were wild and daring, that's what we used to do. Nowadays, it's a tad different. So that's the emotions, that's what the brain's doing with it. And the challenge then is to reprogram. So it's like a software upgrade. We need to just go and like reprogram what's going on. And there are a number of techniques to do that. There's all sorts of things, from psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, all those kind of things. Now, some of those take a pretty long time, but don't say that they're not effective. But there are lots of other ways of doing it, let's say more, I'm going to say alternative, because they are not funded by the National Health here in the UK, but also because they're less known, mostly because they're working with energy bodies. And so that's where we're now talking about what's happening in the energy levels and how we can change things. So I do something called spontaneous transformation, and so it's subconscious spontaneous transformation. It's a technique that I learned a couple of years ago. It's a combination of Ho'oponopono and various other things. There's some amazing, I'm going to say experts, it's a funny word, but amazing trailblazers in this field of both neuroscience and energy healing and various things. And so there's lots of different ways of doing things. I'm trying to think of Donna's surname, where she does, there's energy healing, there's all sorts of different things. So there are heaps of different ways of doing things. I'm just watching the time, it's got quite late. How did that all happen? I don't know. Gosh, it took us a while to get sorted on a few things, didn't it? Anyway, let's go on with that. So there are a few things then that trigger what happens, and it's how we choose to respond and how we choose to clear with different techniques to clear those memories or our automatic responses, our habits. So that was that thing that I wanted to talk about. Here, Angela, so I hope you've had time to listen to it again, and I hope this has helped explain things a bit more. And then there was another beautiful comment, thank you, lovely one. It's enjoying the daily tasks. I haven't always kept ahead. Yeah, listen, sometimes it is not easy to keep up with the things that we need to do, but that's why I've now found these units, and you can go into the units and you can tick off the ones you've done and know when you want to go back, but you can see them all wherever you want to see them. And you're talking about energy, about words being energy neutral. Yeah, words are, so letters and numbers all do have a resonance with them. So everything has a resonance, but you're right, words are just words. They're out there. They're not, they don't have their own energy driver. So they're not a being that generates energy. They carry an energy resonance just on the letters. So some words can be really hurtful just by their feeling and the energy that they're carrying. But what makes a difference is how they're delivered. So we can talk about, oh, that was a really hateful situation, or you are absolutely so hateful. And there's a very different way of delivering those words, the same word, hateful, but different ways of delivering it and different context. And the words, when they come out, have the energy of delivery with them. So if you can keep delivering words of love and compassion and softness and kindness, and with feeling and meaning, they carry that energy with them too. They carry that love. There's nothing worse, and you will have seen this, where somebody says, yeah, I love you too. And the word love is there, but it's so flat. Whereas when it comes forward, oh yes, I just love being with you. It's just, I still love you after 40 years. It's so nice. There's just different ways of putting energy around the words. So there's ways of delivering the words that give the words a different energy vibration. But once the words are out, they will cause an emotion, they'll cause a reaction. How you respond is the thing that you can control. So if you can take a pause, if you can just have that little breath and go, it's always so much easier said than done. Pause, take a look at it and go, okay, that's where that's coming from. I'm not going to react right now. take a deep breath and go, right, I hear you. I can't have this conversation right now, or I still love you, even though that's really hurtful. Whatever you need to say, and then deal with whatever you need to be dealing with, and put yourself, so it's a personal energy. Put yourself in a position where you are mindfully responding. So you are in control of how you are responding to whatever's happening and where it is. Incredibly important that we observe ourselves in order to be present about the things we think and what we ultimately say. Yeah. As humans, listen, that's part of our human journey. We are all one at a soul level. We are all one and connected. But we have this human experience to learn about all these different things that we could be doing. So there we go. Thank you for that. Right. So today's activity follows on. Why can't I see today's activity? Don't tell me it hasn't posted. Maybe I need to refresh that. That's a bit interesting. Should have posted at 5 o'clock this morning. Today's activity was on looking back. I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that. Scheduled posts. This Facebook group is driving me dilly. Nope, no scheduled posts. Must be in there somewhere. Right. I'll go and sort that out. So today's activity is on looking back at happy times in your childhood. This is going to annoy the heck out of me that I can't see it. Don't know what's happened to it. Right, I'm going to have to go and repost it. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, you should have had the email, but for some reason the post didn't happen. So it's about looking back at childhood experiences and remembering all the fun things and making a note of them. So spend some time with your journal, get a nice cup of tea, cup of water, or whatever you feel like having. Do something, sit somewhere nice and warm or cool if you're in Australia and it's hot, because I know some people are in a really hot climes here. And just think back to as many memories that you can during your childhood that made you feel good, made you feel really warm and light and just fun. So things you like doing, and just write them all down. So crazy things. I used to spend a lot of time. We had on the one side of the drive, there was some trees, and underneath it was sand. Rather than grass, it was sand under the trees, and used to spend a huge amount of time building in the sand, or digging. It's not digging in the sand, but making roads and making gardens and picking flowers and putting them in there and doing all sorts of creative things. And when my friends came around, we would do that too. And I had a neighbor across the way. We would sometimes sit in the trees and chat to each other, because he had trees on his side like little monkeys. But it was lovely. But they were fun things. And so often we don't remember, we don't go back to the fun things in our childhood. So what I'd like you to do today and this weekend is take some time to capture all the fun things that happened in your childhood. But as you're writing them down, really embody them. Think about them, feel them, and just really get a hold of the emotion that's in there. Allow that good feeling to fill you up, really fill you up, and just feel what it feels like, because we can create our happiness through going back into that memory bank that we have. So it's all there for us, and I'm going to leave you with that. Go and have fun. Go and call up all those happy memories. Go and have just a wonderful, wonderful time, and enjoy the good times that we had as a kid. And even if you had some challenging times, we all had challenging times as children, let me tell you, but there's some had worse than others. But in amongst those, there were always good times. Whether it was reading under the covers at night, whether it was just building tents with your siblings or best friends or whatever, there were always fun things you did. So go and spend some time and recall all those happy moments, and have a very, very wonderful Saturday. And it's been lovely to share this with you. I hope eventually that this does get across onto the Facebook group. But there you go. It's been good to try all these different things, and I shall see you soon. Bye now. Have a good one.